Hi, this is Josh, and this is my 122A project, the extended version. The quick version will be in the description for people who want to watch the short version of the video. This project is a Zigbee network home security system, so there are sensor modules that come with a Zigbee module, and a AT-Tiny26, and a little button, and an LED. And there's a host system with an Atmega 1284, and an LCD screen to display the status of the system currently, and also a keypad for user input. And of course it also has a Zigbee module that receives data from the other modules. There's also a button on the main system to count as a sensor, just so that there's an extra sensor there attached also. The Atmega 1284 on the hub connects to its Zigbee module over UCR, which is these two wires right here. And I made that decision because the Atmega 1284 has UCR capabilities built in, and the Zigbee module does too, so it was the obvious choice. Unfortunately, the AT-Tinies do not have UCR, and making a software version of UCR was very difficult, so I'm connecting over SPI, which requires much more wires and has its whole own host of other problems. For some reason, I'm not really sure why, the Zigbee module could only send data to the AT-Tinies over SPI if the ground wire is disconnected, but it can only send information between two Zigbee modules when ground is plugged in. So there wasn't really any way to send information two ways, and it caused many problems for the project, but I'm working to get over it. The way the project works is if a button is pressed on one of the sensors, then the host system detects that button has been pressed. There's also different settings for each different button, so I can press this button and it knows that that sensor has been pressed, or I can press the other sensor and it makes the other light go off. If the system is armed by pressing one of the keypad buttons to arm the system, and a button is pressed, then it causes the alarm to go off. This can also be reset by just pressing a button on the keypad. One of the most important parts of this system is that the sensors are hot swappable. So I can remove one of the sensors completely from the system and add a new one in, and it will continue to function just like it did before. So here's the old AT-Tiny, and I have a whole separate one ready. I only bought a couple of Zigbee modules because they're expensive, so I also have to transfer the Zigbee module onto the new sensor as well. Now that I have a new sensor connected to the system, you can see a dashed line where the previous sensor's status was listed. This means that that sensor is no longer connected, but I can use the down arrow on the keypad to reach the new sensors on the screen. This allows me to see if the new sensors are connected or not. The new sensor works perfectly in the system, so if I arm the system and press the button, the alarm will go off just as it did before. Also, if I disconnect power from both of the sensors, you can see that the system detects that they've both been disconnected. This means that the only sensor that's still connected is the one built into this hub system, and that one still works just fine. Lastly, if I take the added sensor back out and return the sensor that was originally in that place by plugging it back in and turning the sensors on, you can see that the first sensor that was connected before is right back where it used to be, and the added sensor that we added in halfway through is now listed as a dashed line. And of course, the buttons all still work just like they did before.